the gods can all be seen as one. We ride.
In this life, there are moments when we feel a shift in things. We leave a moment different from when we entered it. These moments make us who we are. Let's talk about them.
But you're fabulous. You're flying high today for episode 2. I'm loving your fiesta wear in the background. Getting a little bit of colorful happiness. So I like it. Do you have room in there for more?
No. Okay. And honestly, I just filled up one of the shelves and had to rearrange. I don't know if you can tell, but the second shelf, it is full of a whole tea set that my mom gave me with matching plates and a platter, and I forgot about it. So
and then you rediscovered it.
Rediscovery, baby.
Love it. Yeah, my china cabinet is full, so if I acquire a new teapot or tea cup, I have to get rid of one. It's my rule.
Yeah, that's a good one. So what do we got on the books today?
Today, we're going to talk about embarrassing moments in our personal history. And what the heck does it mean to be embarrassed? And Carrie, are you easily embarrassed? Or were you ever? What's embarrassing to you?
I think embarrassing is when you worry about someone else judging you. And I think that now that I'm 43 and the F's are constantly leaving the building, I kind of feel like I don't get embarrassed much anymore. Except for when I'm caught doing something that isn't appropriate. So a really quick story. This week I was sending photos of some furniture I'm selling to a friend. So this friend doesn't know me very well, right? But enough. And I'm like, hey, do you have a resource that you could send these pictures to, or some of the pictures to? And just
and this
to
is like a newer acquaintance, right? You haven't known them forever.
Right.
So
no, just a newer acquaintance.
Really know
not
you
a friend.
super well.
Yeah. So I send him these pictures, and all these pictures I have already sent to my cousin. And so I send him these pictures, and he's like real nice, and he sends me a screenshot back, and it's this little tiny zoomed in of my middle finger because
you're flipping off the camera?
I did that funny thing where you flip off the mirror and I take a picture, and I sent it because I originally sent it to my cousin, so I was trying to mess with her. And
like to see if your cousin wanted them or something?
Well, they belong to my cousin, so I took the photos so she could post them to sell. And then I was also like, hey, other person that I know, do you have any resources to sell these things? And so I took that photo, and I totally forgot about it because I don't do that kind of thing. And I did it to be funny and mess with her. And then I deleted the photos, but I went back and deleted to get the photos because I had already sent them to her.
Forgetting why you deleted them.
Yeah, and so then this person that I sent him to was like, oh, real nice. And I was like totally embarrassed because I'm like, first of all, I'm not the flipper offer kind. Like, I will probably say the words more than I flip off. And then also, that was like a silly prank funny thing that I did for one specific person, and then it accidentally went to you. So the embarrassment lied in
because he probably thought you were just flipping this regular dude minding his own business. This lady says, hey, I know you might know somebody who wants these. Here's a picture. Secretly F you. What?
And the thing is, I'm normally not like I'm pretty, I don't want to say straight-laced because you know me and you know I can be silly. But
you don't go around flipping people off all the time.
No,
even in pictures. It's not even a shtick of yours.
No, and it's so for me, I was embarrassed because I'm like, oh, this person saw a side of me that I wasn't ready to give.
Yeah.
And also a side of me that unless you know me, you know that that's not who I am. So I was embarrassed because I'm like, oh, this person judged me, and so I think that for me, embarrassment lies in judgment,
Yeah. So were you more concerned that he thought you were the kind of person to randomly fill up people off in pictures, or that he thought you were being aggressive to him and flipping him off while he's minding his own business?
I didn't even think about that second part. I think it's this idea of, oh, this person thinks I'm this way or this persona and I'm not. Mm-hmm. So I was more worried about my reputation of, oh no, you don't know who I am, and I just blew the roof off of this place. I don't want to give the wrong impression of someone I'm not.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was an embarrassment of not being, like, I was being authentic, but about, oh shit, I didn't brace you for that.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the other part of it is I wouldn't want him to be, you know, or anybody to think that I'm being rude like that too. So.
Yeah, or to feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I had an embarrassing one this week too, Carrie, and like you, I don't care. And I don't get embarrassed. Except for, like I don't even know. I got to think about a time when I was embarrassed in my before times. But anyway, I'm like you. I roll with it. Things funny. I don't get embarrassed. But last week, like you, I had an embarrassing situation with a male acquaintance. And I can't believe I did it. Okay, so here's the story. At my job in the building where I work, I have my colleagues, my everyday people that I interact with. And then also in the building is another company of people that I interact with regularly, but they're not my day-to-day people that I hang out with and I text and I chat and
that know
and
you,
stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Or have
so
more
these
time
people
with
know
you.
me, but not the same way. So a level removed. So I was in another part of, I work in a museum, so in another part of the museum, and there was all these teachers that had come in for a class, and I was just sitting in the back waiting for it to start because I was going to do part of my job in there, but I was not part of their thing. So this massive room full of teachers quietly getting ready for a class, having some breakfast that we put out, when this colleague of mine from the other company swings into the room because he's on his way to the next room. He's going to do a big Zoom presentation, and he was popping in to ask me about something we had been talking about. And I complimented his outfit because he likes to dress up. You know, a lot of dudes kind of...
Is he a bow tie guy?
He wasn't wearing one but yes, he will wear a bow tie.
I love a bow tie.
So yes,
so
he
great.
is fun because he is funky, and he is one of my buddies at work who will talk to me about random antiques and weird thrift finding. And so when he came in, I actually started talking to him about my Navajo turquoise escapades, and he is so knowledgeable about all this stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
He has this whole display wall in this house of antique typewriters. So he's always a trip to talk to, and usually, and he's a higher up in this organization, usually he is a stream of swears. Like his vocabulary is just swear, but it's hysterical. So he comes in this room, he's prepping for a more formal Zoom meeting where he's going to be teaching people across the nation about X, Y, or Z. So he's dressed, he's got this cool blazer on and a little pocket kerchief. I just was noticing all his details, and we like to talk about those things. So we're just chatting away. And also to explain this guy, I don't know how to explain him except for that he's like probably 6.5 foot tall, slender, and he has this long, narrow beard, like bigger than my husband's beard. It's very impressive. So anyways, we're just chatting away, and he's going to a Zoom meeting, and he's looking all fancy, and I see a long beard hair, about 6 inches past his ultra long beard. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to help this guy out because he's going to a Zoom call. He likes to look good, and he's got a stray beard. And so I just grabbed that beard hair and I yanked on it. And I was like, you got a loose hair. And it wasn't loose. It was stuck to his face.
Was it long enough? And because of the way I'm picturing it super long. So when you just do a quick, right? Just a quick pull, and it like pull his chin down?
I'm like, oh, this is not coming loose. And he like moved.
So did you go in for a second one because you weren't sure? Or did you pull once and drop?
Gary, there was no denying what was happening. I pulled it. It was stuck to his face, and he was like, whoa. I was like, oh my gosh. But there's this room full of teachers probably hearing this conversation. He can't swear because he's got to be professional, man, with the teachers. He's got to keep his potty mouth under control. So do I. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I do not know you nearly well enough to be touching your beard. I just touched your beard.
Oh.
And he like brushed it off, and he was like, oh, this dang beard is so stinking long, gets caught and everything, blah, blah, blah. He was just going on. But I thought, oh no.
So he was embarrassed too.
I crossed a line. I don't know if he was embarrassed. I think he was just kind of like, whatever, this beard's sometimes a pain in the ass.
Oh, but right.
I was like, oh no. I I should not have touched your beard ever.
I think, okay, so I'm analyzing it from my perspective of like, what would I have done, right? What would I have done
if you were the bearded person or the person? Oh my God!
Don't ask me about the beard, because I would just probably swear and be like, oh shit!
He kept it together. He kept it together.
Yeah, so that's good. Good on him. Very professional. And also looking at it, and I'm like, I probably would have been like, I don't know. I'm an extrovert. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'd be like, oh shit, sorry dude, let me get the scissors. And then I'd like try to manicure him. Or I'd be like, and try to really rip it off for him. Oh, you know what I mean? Just like,
but if it was someone like the person from Facebook that you know, but you don't know, would you feel comfortable with somebody of that level of knowing versus like somebody you've hung out with a lot? I
feel like the Facebook friend, the person I know that like I just messaged, I don't know them that well at all. I just like they have a history with my family, so I know them, right? Guys, yeah, but like it's not like very personal. It's okay. So for that person, yeah, I probably would be like a little bit like, oh, I don't know yet, right? But a coworker, that's a whole different thing.
But this is different.
I understand it's like a different section of coworkers, right? On the pyramid of coworkerness, like I get it. But I kind of feel like there comes a time when you're in the trenches together and you realize it. And like you were doing the nice thing by being like, let me make sure you look your best.
Yeah.
And let me get this.
So like, you know, like if I pulled a beard off his shoulder, fine. But it just was stuck to the thing. And then that stupid hair just like sprung back up and hit itself in his beard. It wasn't even like a scraggle. I don't even know, Carrie, he had to have been hiding in his beard for like a year because it was so much longer than the rest of his face. It had
to be, yeah.
And that day it just descended.
Oh God, I guarantee that you are thinking about it more than him, even while I just repeating the story, right? And I think that's like when we get embarrassed, that's how it goes. It's always us who are embarrassed, not that person. Like that person
hasn't thought about it since.
Yeah, and maybe at home his wife does that shit all the time, and it's like they're always happening. So he's like, whatever.
He does not have a wife.
Oh, this person. Okay,
and we are the same age too. So I'm like, I hope he doesn't think I was trying to like be too familiar.
I don't know. I feel like there's a code when you're married and you're like loyal. People just know.
Yeah.
You know, so like, oh no, I just messed up because I'm.
Because if it was a grandpa man and I yanked on his beard, I would have laughed and been like, sorry, grandpa man. But he's like my age. I'm like, oh, I wasn't trying to like.
Yeah, I think it just comes down like when I get really personal. I just feel like I get really personal with my coworkers like instantly because I'm like, we got to do this crap. We're in the trenches together. I spend more time with you than I do with my family. I'm gonna pull on your beard hair if I feel like I need to. You know, if I'm gonna be helping you out. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it was the person. Like depending on who it is, because if it was some of the other guys at the museum that I work with that I don't see as much, it would have been it still is funny, but I was just like, oh dude, because
but like isn't that a great reminder of how human we are? Because I swear like sometimes things are going really really good or really really bad and you're just like expecting it all, and then all of us like one or the other, right? You're like, oh, you know, like I can't take another thing, or man, things are going great, I'm not even listening to paying attention, and then all of a sudden something real human happens, like, oh, I'm going to yank on someone's beard hair. Oops, I'm going to accidentally send my middle finger to somebody I don't really know. Like, that's, to me, like, I just feel like those are great moments to ground yourself and be like, oh, that's great. Right. Like, yeah, this is life. People. This is how it goes, right?
Well, that one threw me for a loop because normally, like we've said, we don't get embarrassed very much.
Mm-hmm. So and I think that's it. It like really jars you because it's been so long, right?
Yeah. So it mortified me in the moment. I don't know if it mortified me. It was just like, holy shit, I did the wrong thing. I texted my colleagues and because they know this person.
Oh God.
They were just dying. One girl's like, she's like, I had tears in my eyes. I couldn't even get the words out to tell somebody what happened because it was so funny. And I was like, okay, there was a funny thing. People laughed, whatever, we're moving on with our day. Later, when I saw this person again, I was going to apologize to them, but I couldn't because of the situation. I was like, oh no, I still feel silly about this. And that was the thing that got to me because usually I feel silly, I laugh, I move on, and then ha ha ha. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I still felt a little bad.
Yeah, but my question is, what, like, if you have to, go down to the roots, what is the root of, like, why you're embarrassed?
I think it's because I tried touching someone with whom I do not have a touching relationship with. So I was like, and I'm more friendly. Like if someone touched me or whatever, I wouldn't care. But I'm just like,
yeah, but you've never had your hair ripped out by a stranger lately, so no, maybe you wouldn't care. Maybe.
So I think the thing was, okay, so yeah, with this guy it was fine. It was safe. I interact with a lot of people in the community, and I think the thing was I was worried that I'm getting a little too brazen in like helping people out. And what if I do that to somebody that I totally shouldn't do it to, and it upsets, or like flusters them or kind of throws them off their game? Because we have a lot of like high visibility people coming into my work and stuff who I do interact with in that way, but not that closely to. So I'm just like, keep your hands to yourself, April. And if somebody's got toilet paper coming off their shoe, some bigwig comes in, you just discreetly point it out, but you don't touch it.
That cracks me up.
So I think that's.
I guess if I was in a job where there's prestigious people around me, like, I don't know if that's the right word, but like I would be on high end too. Just remember, he works at the same place you do and gets paid by the same employer. So like,
well, that guy, no, like yeah, this is like totally different people. So I'm like, but is he an emblem of what if I did that to one of the big philanthropists in town? Like, do not touch the beards. So before that, my team had taken headshots with a photographer, and I acted as a photographer's assistant, making sure people didn't have their hair out of place or wrinkles on their shirts, and just so I had just been.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, with my own team,
that zone.
Let me help you out, which they expected because they were standing in front of a camera, and I know them. But so I think my brain was still in that mode of he is going in front of a camera, help the colleague out. So hopefully I've reset my brain. And I don't do that to a bigwig.
If not, this is what I would do. I think sometimes there's a reconciliation that needs to happen, or like an acknowledgement, and that sometimes when we embarrass ourselves, we have to rectify the situation. And even that person that I sent the middle finger to, I was like sending laugh emojis, and I'm like, so sorry, this is not out of character. That was for my cousin. Ha ha ha. When I saw him, I actually saw him a couple days later. Actually yesterday, and I had mentioned it to him. He's like, don't worry about it, because
he had already
it didn't really matter to him, but to me, because it like went against my character, like that's where it lived, right? So I think that sometimes there's two things you can do. You can say like, I'm sorry, or you can make a joke about it and be like, hey man, don't come too close to me, I'm gonna pull on your beard again. You know what I mean? And then if you both laugh about it, then it's like, oh, ha ha ha, we had that. Now we have this moment.
It's totally fine. But yeah. So I do have a story I want to tell today that I want to know if the listeners, would you be embarrassed in the situation? Because spoiler alert, I was not. And I think these kinds of stories, normally people are, I think, mortified around, even if they didn't do anything wrong. Because in this story, I don't feel like I really did anything wrong, like the thing that happens. So yeah, here's a story of something that happened to me in the olden times, Carrie. By the olden times, I mean pre-COVID.
Yeah, that's literally, I was going to say, that's not that long ago because we knew each other, but also it was a different timeline because, and honestly, still, if you're like, hey, Carrie, how long have we been friends? I still don't know. Like, I don't do any math before COVID. Like, it's been like 7 years, hasn't it?
The world ended.
See, there you go. I'm like, oh, a year. No, but I'm like, how long have you and I know each other? Remember, we talk about this all the time where we go back in time and it's like 2019 or 2017. It wasn't that long. But wait, was it? Yeah, because Riley was born. Okay, anyways, the point is we're not going there. We've been friends a long time now. And for me, in my brain, I'm like, oh, my friend April, my new friend April. Because it was before COVID, my brain still goes to like,
you're like, COVID just happened.
A couple years. No, it's been like almost a decade, April. We've been friends closer to a decade. Cool. Can you believe that? Yeah, it's very cool. So, okay, go ahead. So your story happened
just months before COVID. That time in my life was very different than it is now. And it's so funny because that story, I don't ever share much on Facebook at all, but this thing happened to me that I thought would amuse people. And it was winter and we were all depressed and stuff. So I posted it, and I realized as I watched that video recently how different my life is now. It's only been 6 years, Carrie, quote, only. But that's a whole lifetime. Like, I look at that and I think, my hair
Well, kids age you too. And I don't mean like physically. I mean like your timeline is based around their age. So like 6 years in a kid is like a whole lifetime. Like they're not even close to who they were 6 years ago, you know, because they change so quickly so much. So yeah, so for 6 years that's not much in adult time, but when you put a kid in there in the mix, it feels like it's a crazy.
Well, difference. I was looking at it, so not even with my kids, though. Yeah, none of them are like this. This was an elementary school story. None of my kids are in elementary anymore, but also I'm looking in there. I'm watching this video and I'm like, I don't have the same hair. I don't have the same face. The clothes I'm wearing in there, I don't even own anymore. Who doesn't, like, you know, Carrie, you and I are kind of the people who keep our clothes. That's all gone. The chair in my living room isn't there. Nothing in this video that I recorded is the same. Even,
wow,
I was thinking back to like, what was I doing back then? So I have a different job, which that happens. But I had a 6-month-old puppy
totally
at the
different
time.
Life.
I still don't even have that puppy anymore. I don't even have that dog. Life has just changed so crazy. Back then I was working part-time, kind of full-time, part-time. I was volunteering at my kids' school, though. I had a lot of time to do, not a lot, but because I had a flexible schedule, I was working 30 hours a week, making my own schedule. I could do things like library lady or help in the classroom, field trip mom, whatever. Like, these are the things I know you still get to do. You get to do, but you still do. And because my life has changed in 6 years, I don't have that availability anymore. So it was just wild to look at that and think, what's our lives going to be like in 6 more years, Carrie?
Listen, this is not the right time this is not the right part of my timeline to ask me.
Ask me again in a month. Yeah, like 6 years from now, we'll look back and be like, what? Like, there's even stuff that we can't even imagine. So it's just really interesting. And maybe that's kind of like a word of encouragement to people out there who are maybe in a really weird spot. In 5 years or 6 years, your life, just think about it. Every 5 or 6 years of your life, it's not the same for most people. Things happen.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good segue. Have you ever heard the saying that if you're not going to think about it in a year, don't worry about it? Because, like, think about it. Like, you spill the pop and you get mad. Like, I used to be a very reactive parent, and I really, like, ugh. And then I feel, personally, that saying really helped to level set my expectations of, like, what to really get upset about and what's really worth it. And so I'd get, the pop spilled, you know, or whatever. And I'm like, whatever, just clean it up.
And a year from now, you know what I mean? Like, think about that.
No, never. No, and even if you take one day of your life and you just think about all the things that you stressed out about, how many of those things will you even think about in a year?
It's true.
Laundry? Nah.
Well, yes, whatever. Laundry, because laundry is every day. But a new load of laundry.
Well, right, but yeah, exactly. But that's the thing, like, what's worth being stressed about? Because, 1 year, and then you move to 5 years. What are you going to really be worried about in 5 years?
So the thing back then, 5 years ago, that I remember worrying about, I don't worry about anymore. I was a dog sitter, and so I did Rover, and I also had friends and family. I would dog sit, and I remember back then, we had so many different dogs, and my kids always ask about them. How's so-and-so? How's so-and-so? Because they come and go in your life and stuff. And at that time, we had various dogs, but 2 of our regulars were called Jax and Little Jerry. So Little Jerry was this hysterical little rat terrier. He was like a sausage, okay? But the kids loved him. He was a small little guy, and they delighted in him. And Jax was his dachshund sister, who was like also oversized. She was like 50 pounds. She was like a sausage dachshund, but she was big. And she had seizures, so whenever she came to our house, she had to take seizure medicine. And I remember one time my girls, they loved this dog. So they'd take Jax around with them, and they'd put Jax in bed with them, and Jax would go on adventures. So one day Jax was in bed with one of them, and she started to have a seizure, and the girls are trying to help her, and Jax slides down in the crack between the bed and the wall. And she's still having her seizure. And, like, Izzy was like 7. She's like, Mom, what do I do? Poor Jax. So I got her out.
So funny.
That dog, that little shit, she had an obsession with vacuum cleaner cords. Like 3 times she chewed immediately through my vacuum cleaner cord if I ever had it out. So So then after that, anytime she come over, it's like, no vacuuming, guys. No vacuuming unless we lock her in the kitchen and we vacuum. We hurry up and put it away. Because the first time it happened, I was like, what is this? How did this happen? And I'm thinking, dog, you get seizures. Don't be chewing on a plugged-in vacuum cord. Maybe that
I wonder why you're having seizures.
So anyway, things like that were in my life then. I don't have those things now. I have other things. Mm-hmm. But at that time, so this story is about being able to be the library lady at my kid's school, which I loved. Like, being a librarian is one of my top 5, like, alt job careers. Oh, you know, God, like, if I could do it. Though, let's be realistic, Carrie. I have narcolepsy. If I had to work in a silent library all day, quiet
place.
I can't. I can't physically do the job of a librarian, but yes, the idea is enchanting.
Yeah, that's your retirement job. So sometimes, like, retirees.
Yeah, I could volunteer to library or do part-time stuff.
Yeah, couple hours, do something.
And I would
be
say,
great for you. So
don't let me be at the table. I have to walk around and put things away or to move. So that was my job, actually, with the library. Every week, kids had library. So a parent would sign up and come to the class, and you'd, like, check in all the books that the students had checked out and get all the kids sorted and get them their little tickets to, like, check out another book. And just kind of do admin while the librarian is reading a story and doing educational things.
Yeah.
Yep. So directing, so that day, I was my son's class. He was in kindergarten. He was a little boy.
Oh, my God.
He's now in 6th grade.
I know. That's the thing, though. Like, the pre-COVID brain says, no, he's not. And I just go, I've literally heard you every day almost talk about one of your children. I know how old they are, give or take. And now you're talking about him being in kindergarten. And I remember, but I still can't even. So, okay.
So little kindergarten boy, his whole class. And I, excuse me, I'm sorry, I keep coughing. I've got allergies right now. But being library was so fun because you got to see all the kids in the class, but you didn't have to be responsible for them, which, because it's hard to keep these children controlled. They're kindergartners or chatty and stuff.
Yeah. Also, you're not trying to make them do anything. They get to
but they can come and ask me for help. I can go help them. But if they're yakking and stuff, that's on the teacher, that's on the librarian, other people. So it was perfect world for me.
You just get to be the buffer,
So I remember one day, I don't remember, this might have been my daughter's class, but this little boy came in, and he came up to me to check, because I also checked out the book, so he comes up to you in his book, and he's like, this is such a good day. I'm checking out this book that I really like. I did cooking class today, and tonight I'm teaching my grandma how to be a ninja. I thought, oh my gosh, does your grandma know? Does your grandma know?
No, that's so
and he
cute.
Stopped and he just kind of thought for a minute. He goes, but I've never taught a grandma how to be a ninja before, so I don't know how it'll go. He says she wants to be a
Oh my God, that's
ninja.
So cute.
What is this little boy? Who is this little boy? I'm like, do I know your grandma? Can I warn her?
I need to know your grandmother.
Stealth Ninja training starts tonight. Yeah. Okay? And Ryden is ready because he's got a great book today. He did cooking class, and you're the trifecta. So it's just, and these are the things I'm sure teachers hear all the time, hysterical things that kids do. So I loved that. So that day, I'm just, the kids did not talk to me. I'm checking in the books, and I pick up the first book from the pile to scan it in, and I'm smelling poop. And I just walked in there, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've stepped in dog poop.
What kind of
my
poop?
brain said dog poop.
Oh, dog poop.
I know dog poop.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, you had babies. You know what kind of poop
so
is
I'm like,
poop and which poop.
No.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Because I was the dog sitter lady, did I step in dog poop? And I brought it into the library. So I'm checking my shoes.
Yeah.
There's no poop. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't think it was a kid farting. Like, I don't know what this is. So I turn the book over to scan it, and I see a literal giant piece of dog shit stuck to this book. And I realized the first 2 books in the pile had a giant turd sandwiched in between.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, where am I? How is a turd here in this library? And then my brain says,
right?
April, those are Gus's books. Those came from your house. I was like, what dog is shitting on this book?
So you brought the poop sandwich
I did
to the
it.
library?
He put that in the cart. This little boy, I'm looking at this in my brain, and I said I had a 6-month-old puppy. That wasn't puppy poo. I'm thinking, and then I put it together as I'm sitting here looking at poop book.
Yeah, mortified, but also stuck because you're like, I don't even know where to put this.
It's just a turd.
How do I make it so that way I'm not yelling?
And it's huge, Carrie.
I know.
I realized.
Oh my God.
It was that stinking dog Jax who loved to eat the cords and had the seizures. She, because my child is a total kid. He had left his library book on the floor in the living room. She pooped on it. She didn't poop. She pooped in the house a couple of times, but I was like, this is the size of her turds. She shat on the book. My son goes to put his books away. He sees a turd on a book. He just sticks his other book on top.
No.
Pushes it together.
He didn't even see it.
Throws it in his backpack.
Didn't even see it.
He didn't smell it. No turd. But I'm like,
just to level set the expectation here, I don't think it's because your son is any kind of way, but besides a little boy, I feel like little boys are just like that. They just A to B. That's it. There's no
this
thought
wasn't a
for
puppy
even
turd,
a second.
Carrie. This was a significant dog.
No, they don't even see it. I'm telling you. So either way, the sandwich was
Shoves in
made,
his
but
backpack.
I just think no matter what, he didn't see it.
And then what are the odds, Carrie?
He was listening to his mom.
Like,
he put his
library
books in the
day.
bag
Don't
and he did what he was supposed
you make me not have to scan your books today, buddy. But what are the odds that his was the top book? He was like the last one.
The first of
It was the
many.
very first. So I'm just sitting here holding these books. It's like, oh no, it came from my house. Because I was like, who's the parent I got to talk to? I was like, everything okay? Do I even tell them like what happened? It came from my house.
Yeah, because also you're trying to not distract from the class and create this huge talk about for the kids because, like once you get one of them talking about it, it just explodes, right? And there's chaos ensues and nothing gets done. And how do you come back from a turd
I don't know.
With books?
So
You don't. No. So you're trying to keep it down. You're trying to keep it together.
Well, I don't know
you're
if they had actually come in yet. I think I got there early, but I'm just
oh, yeah.
What? So the librarian was there, and I said, "I'm really sorry. Excuse me.
I have a situation.
This book has dog poop on it." And I don't think that was at all what she was expecting someone to say on library day.
No, I don't think anybody ever thinks that. It was
this giant piece of shit on the book. And so I was like, I'm really sorry.
Sandwiched. It was sandwiched.
Oh, my. I said, I'll take care of it. So I go down to the bathroom. And I flush the turd, and then I wash the books, and I bring them back, and I come in, and she goes, oh, thank you for doing that. And I'm thinking, thank you. This is my dog shit book. Who else is going to do this?
Oh, did you tell her?
I don't remember.
I would have never. I'd be like, these kids. I would have never
I
claimed
wouldn't have
that
cared,
one.
Except for that, my kid, got the book dirty. So she's like, thank you for doing that. I was like, this is my problem. Like, who else is going to take care of this?
Yeah, you're just holding accountability.
That's the story of the dog poop book where I wasn't embarrassed. I was just like, what the hell's happening? But then the next part is what just drives me crazy because I washed the 2 books.
Okay.
And she's telling me, thank you. And because one of the library jobs is you scan it and then you reshelve it, I went to reshelve them. And she's like, oh, no. Please don't do that. And so I took them out. And I realized in the moment, they can't go back in Gen Pop. We have to replace them because they've touched poop. I didn't think that. And to this day, it drives me crazy that there's times like this is like one of the most recent times in my life where I do something that I'm like, that is the most common sense thing. And I did something so stupid and I didn't even understand. And if I had reshelved the books and walked away, my brain later never would have said, April, ooh, don't do that. Go get them out. And so that's the thing that bugs me. Why does my brain not understand basic things like that?
This is how I feel. I think that when we publish this episode, we need to do our first survey because I would love to see who would have shelved the book and who would have not. Because here's the thing I'm going to say. Number one, I think when you're around poop all the time, it just
you can't throw away everything in your house.
Not a big deal.
Poop's everywhere.
You can't. Nope. You got to wash it sometimes. You got to clean it.
Kids pee beds.
Sometimes you
dogs pee on things.
Oh
cats
my God.
Pee
yeah.
on
And
things.
you can't. Yeah. And you just can't replace it all. And sometimes it's a straight up accident, right? So I think that there's like, and you were in baby mode still. Like, not even baby mode, like small child. Yeah, and not only that, the small child, there is shit, like literally, there is shit everywhere all the time in my house still.
They're grown.
And my kids aren't,
or they're
they're closer to the middle school. Like, yeah, they're definitely potty trained, but I'm still like, how is there crap on, or even like just the toothpaste gets crazy. And I'm like, how are we still living this life where it's just like,
I know.
Oh my God, yeah. Especially when you have a whole gaggle of them over, you're just like, there's pee literally everywhere, and it's you get like accustomed to it, and you get kind of desensitized. So, I think that's part of it, and also knowing you came up from a life sort of like me. I hate to say poverty because it wasn't poverty, but it was no money. I would have done everything I could to not pay the library fine if it was my library book. And number two, like, just to keep it clean and keep it safe. So, like, between the desensitization of, like, oh, yeah, shit happens literally, constantly, all the time, and then conservation of resources, I probably would have done the
And your
same
brain,
thing.
okay, because that's the thing. I'm like, am I going through life doing things that I shouldn't be doing? Like, I'm not always putting poop books up, but I'm like, was that a health crisis? And then COVID happens. We're like, no, dog poop was the least of our problems. Because this was like 2 or 3 weeks before COVID.
Exactly.
So we're fine. But yeah, that's the thing so like when I was talking about pulling the beard hair, I wasn't upset that I pulled his beard hair. I was upset that my brain didn't tell me don't do that. And what if I do something worse, like the beard hair, to somebody else? And this thing too, like, thankfully the librarian says please don't do that, and my brain connected then, and that more like took her saying it to be like, oh no, we have to reorder these books. What if I do something worse? Because my brain just doesn't think of it. But if you're saying maybe other people, because my thing was just like, nobody else in America would have tried putting the books back. I'm the only dippy-do that would have just done it.
I think it comes down to, why do you get embarrassed? Like, there's a root there somewhere, right? And I think for me, it's about, like we said before, being out of character and like somebody catching you in that, or just like the judgment part. Like, were you embarrassed because you were worried about someone judging you and thinking you didn't do the right thing? I feel that at the end of the day, all these cool conversations we've had all these years, the biggest takeaway I've ever found with anything where we're judging ourselves or we're reflecting on it, every freaking conversation, it comes down to perception, right? So the perception is, how do you view yourself? Why would you be judging yourself? Why do you like to be, or how, why are you worried about someone judging you? All those things. But also, like you said, if this was World War II and someone shit in the library books, would they just like be like, oh, throw them away and replace it? Think about that. No, they'd be scrubbing that book. They'd have their own hacks, always baking soda and vinegar. And they would be figuring out how to make it work, or they would replace the cover, or they would, there's all sorts of things, because out of necessity comes invention, right? So we're in a place in our life and in time where everything's really throwawayable, so like you and I grew up in a place where it wasn't like that. So our perception is you conserve the resource.
That's true.
Right? So I don't know. You can choose whether you want to walk away from this and have like any kind of feelings about it or not. But I think anytime you get embarrassed, there's just this part of you that has to like kind of accept what you did. I actually learned this in therapy. Accept, acknowledge, and then there's another one with an A. But the two I really live in is accept and acknowledge, because I start to accept that it happened, that I did it, like I was embarrassing. And then acknowledge, acknowledge my feeling. Like, why am I feeling like this? Right?
Admit?
I can't remember the third
That's
A.
like acknowledge.
I think you're right. I think it's admit. I'm sure if we Googled it really quick. But it's like, you just move on from it. And you either make a plan or you decide what to do. I accept. I might have them out of order. But
sorry, Google. Does it sound right?
You could appreciate. That'd be a good one.
Or allow. That's what the Google says.
Well, appreciate's a great one, because I can see that one being really, like, even in my own journey, like, appreciating. So sometimes when shit happens, literally, you accept that it happened. You acknowledge, how it affected you. And then you appreciate that even though the shit sandwich happened, oh my God, we laughed about it. We decided that we had the resources to recover and we could, like, buy a new one. And also, why the hell is Jax shitting on the books?
And I appreciate that I was library lady that day and not some other parent. Some dude is like, whose book is...
Yeah.
Who shat in a book?
I know. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Because some people, I think about it now. If I was a library lady right now and that happened, I wouldn't even told the library lady. I probably would have just handled it, put it back on the shelf.
Well, I had to leave the room, but also it was funny too. And I thought she'd be like...
Or I'd been like, where's your bleach wipes?
A turd?
Because the books aren't made now like they were then. Like, books
these
now
were
are
easily cleanable. That's the thing.
plastic.
I cleaned them up perfectly. So I thought, okay, mischief managed. And she's like, no, we can't put dog poop books back in Gen Pop. So,
I mean, if it wasn't on the pages. But the thing is, like, I don't know, like, perception, right? Everybody's perception is different, and that's where like chaos ensues, and that's where like we find that there's good and bad and all that. So when our perceptions match or are similar, then we're like, okay, it's cool, everything's good. But then when they don't match, that's when chaos happens. Everything comes down to perception, I think. Shit happens.
It does. So
I want to count every time I say that. So when I go to edit, I'm going to just keep it. Because where else do you use that sentence? And it's literal, and it also is funny.
Happened. So
shit sandwiches happen.
I do not know what happened to Jackson. This is the sad thing about my dog sitting. So I had people who I knew in real life that I've dog sat for. So that continued. But yeah, COVID happened and nobody was traveling. And so dog sitting was off. And so that pair of dogs who I watched a lot for like 2 years, like their people traveled so much. I was like, how do you have all this PTO? Like, amazing.
Yeah.
It just stopped. And then after COVID ended, I never heard from them again. And because I didn't have their number, because it was through Rover, I couldn't say, how are your dogs? Blah, blah, blah. I texted this one dog named Bo that my children adored. I had him for years. And
they used to polo me with Bo.
And
so I knew Bo.
We hadn't heard from him in a few months, which again, his owner too, she traveled a lot. He was with us like every other month. So I was like checking in on Bo, hoping he was okay. And it's fine if she doesn't want me to dog sit anymore, but it was more like, my kids miss your dog. And she goes, I moved out of state. And so I'm like, oh, Bo is gone and we'll never see him again. So we found that out. I'm guessing at this point, Jax and little Jerry are no longer with us. But it was just interesting.
Yeah, because it was a decade ago. It was interesting
how
almost.
COVID just changed so many things that were regular parts of our lives. But that was okay because I did love Jax and little Jerry. They were fun, and I'm totally cool with special needs dogs. Even if she shit on my son's book. At least she shat on something. She didn't poop on the floor. Maybe she thought, this is something I can poop on. Not just like on the floor. I don't know.
Or literally, she gave no shits.
She gave all the shits. All of them.
Well, she gave all of them.
On the book.
She gave all of them. So now that we've had this discussion and we've talked about embarrassment, I personally feel like if I should send someone a middle finger again by mistake and get caught up in that, would I feel the same? Because now I know my embarrassment rides in the idea that someone's like being judgmental to me, or
was it that they could be offended? Because I don't like offending people.
Seriously, no.
Because I don't want people to be sad or to think that you were because you weren't being aggressive, but them to be like, are you low key?
Maybe it was offending. Be an asshole
to me. I didn't do anything to you.
I feel like I do apologize for being offensive, but it's never in a way that's like me flipping someone off. Like, not to me, that's like silly, funny. Like, I did have, I don't know how to say this in a way that makes sense right now. So I'm getting divorced. And so there was this moment where I had said something not like sexy to someone, or not even, but like something that could have been like read and then like re-alchemized as something else. And it was not even a big deal, but I had found out after I said that the person was seeing someone. I was like, hey, whoa, FYI, I don't want to be offensive. I don't really worry about being offensive anymore. I think I used to. Same thing with embarrassed. Like, I think that if I really feel like there's a possibility, it comes down to my my standards. I would never want someone to accidentally hit on my person knowing that like I was dating them or married to them, right? So I think that like when things go against my values, I'll apologize or feel, maybe that's a part of it too, is like I feel embarrassed, like, okay, I flipped you off, that's kind of against my values, I would never do that, so let me apologize. And I'm embarrassed, right? Because you caught me accidentally, because I definitely didn't mean to do that, right? But like same thing with is it. Like what was the other thing you just said? It wasn't embarrassment, it was like God, I miss my brain every day. I miss my brain.
But like offending people and
stuff. Everyone used to just
weren't worrying about offending them, but you were just
offensive.
Like that's not a value thing for me. And
like this, okay, so I'm fine with offending somebody, but it just has to be based in value. And so an example is that I was talking to a gentleman behind the counter at like the grocery store, and I was talking to him about soup. It was like not a big deal, but this lady comes up literally like behind, so I'm here, and this lady comes up behind me and sticks a sandwich in front of my face and is like, isn't this lobster supposed to be $5.99 or something like
back?
And I was like, excuse you? Yeah. And like to me that was like, you can be offended all you want. Now also I was really revved up that day, so I kind of put her in her place, and then I got out of the store because I would have fought somebody, and I don't get in that place very often. So I was like, listen, I am charged up already. I need to not be in a situation where I'm beating up people at a grocery store or like getting
that was me recently too. I was with my daughters shopping at this jewelry store for my daughter's birthday, and I was at a display. I just walked over to the display and began to inspect these earrings that I thought were cool. And this woman comes up next to me. She's like, excuse me, can I just look at this thing? And I thought, sure, because I thought, oh, she's been shopping. She's going to grab these earrings and she's going to go. No, Carrie, that bitch stood in front of the thing for like 10 minutes and just was shopping with her boyfriend. I just walked up here. I haven't even looked at the earrings. And I was so mad at Carrie. And I wanted to say so many things because she was not attractive looking. And I'm like, you have a sad, sad life. I was looking at her. I'm like, you have nothing in your life. So I'm gonna let you have this one.
Plus, you were on vacation, right? Is this when you were on?
But she was so awful.
So you were having the best time, and you're like, oh. Well, so am I hearing that like when we find ourselves triggered like this, whether it's embarrassment or offensive, it's like literally got everything to do with our values? Because put a freaking lobster in my face one more time, I swear to God, I'll come for you, you know? And like, also like, why is it so hard to just be human and like be kind? Like, why is it so hard to just understand that other people need to take up space too and think of other people?
So that was it. Yeah, my values were, I don't know, that's rude. I was waiting for her, Carrie, because I was like you, this is not a day to get in a fight. We're just not doing this. Or saying something mean. And I'm like, and I will say mean things to her because I'm really good at it. That will probably haunt her for the rest of her life. And things that aren't kind, that talk about her, how she looks and stuff and these things. And so I'm like, that's wrong. But she was wrong too. And I need her to be sorry. So I was standing in line, and she had been taking up these other people's time. She was not a cool customer. But I was in line, and I thought, I would not put it past her to come up to one of us in line. There's like 4 of us, and be like, excuse me, and then just get in line in front of them. So I'm like, if she does this.
This makes me want to test out the power of ask. We've talked about this episode before. And like, I think of the ignorant people who are out there just living their lives, doing and getting whatever they want, because they're literally just like, they just ask and they just go and they do it, right? We've talked about this a little bit.
But you've talked about how ask is
really
helpful and a good thing. You're not being an asshole. You're just asking. Someone's like, oh yeah, sure. You can totally have 20% off.
Right, but also how much can we get away with?
Lots of stuff, especially in the Midwest.
I look at these people, and I especially look at these people that just like literally, like at least she asked, because I come across the people that don't even ask. I get the people that just like get in my space and then like trigger the shit out of me, right? But where could we take this? How far could we take it? And am I living a crap life because I'm considerate.
But also it would go against your values, Carrie. So you wouldn't like being the person who's like, excuse me, can I go there? Or shoving a lobster sandwich in front of someone's face. Like you.
It wasn't even a sandwich. It was a straight
or whatever.
Up lobster.
You would not do that because you wouldn't want it to happen to you. And you're like, I don't do that to people.
I also wonder, like, I see a lot of this happening more and more. And I'm like, is everybody else just shopping online? And these are the crappy situations I'm seeing? Or is this how our culture's changing behind us?
But also, Carrie, just think about, so that day I was in Austin, Texas. I was shopping on Congress Avenue, which is like a popular shopping. We went to so many stores and encountered.
Is it similar to like when you go to Chicago and you go to the
Millennial Mile or whatever? Only this is small town.
Yeah, it's just
it's not grand. But anyways, it's a whole street with stores.
Okay.
And so we encountered hundreds of people that day, Carrie, in probably a dozen stores, and only one asshole. And all those other people were polite, nice, friendly. The one lady who I bought boots from in a store, she was like, she heard our accent. She's like, where are you from? And we told her, she goes, oh my gosh, my best friend lives in your town. And like everybody was super kind and nice. So, I mean, say of 100 people, one of them was a total dick. 1% dick. Like that's pretty mild, I feel, so I'll accept it. But yeah, those are the ones that stick out to you, aren't they? Like I remember that lady.
Yeah.
I do all remember the nice people too, but I'm not going around telling stories about them because it didn't like infuriate me. It's just like this cool guy.
Yeah, it's the ones that go against your morals, your values. The more I like look at that, it's the same people in my life that piss me off. It's because they literally go against the values that I hold. And I'm pretty lenient gal. Like I'm pretty.
You don't have like rigid values.
The ones that
nobody steps out of line.
Yeah, you get to be who you want. Just be a good person. And the second you're not a good person, and you don't think of, oh God, the rage gets just in
because it's your value
it just
system.
Comes out of me. Now I did read something, like I said it because I'm getting divorced. I did read something that said something along the lines of, I'm going to try to paraphrase the best I can. But basically, you will tolerate shit from someone as long as you can until they go against your values. And when I looked at that against my marriage, I realized that that was exactly right. So I think values play... I wonder why we don't talk about values. I wonder if we just like guess that, because they talk about stuff in church and you talk about it as you're growing up and in middle school.
But that's more
like elementary, but
like under the guise of right and wrong. That's different. Values are different because people have different values. So it's maybe a subset of that, but values is broader.
Yeah, and like I don't think I've ever had a conversation with any of my friends about values because I think for so much we often assume that we all have the same values because because of the right and wrong system, and that is not correct.
So what's really interesting? We're going to loop around. This is going to be the end of our episode because it's a full circle, Carrie. So in that classroom where I pulled the beard hair, okay, the teachers were there for a continuing ed class. And one of the activities that the instructor had them do was get together in pairs and talk to them about your pet peeve. So each person, you found a person and you told them, my pet peeve is people being late for meetings, or my pet peeve is somebody saying excuse me and getting in front of my jewelry display like a total ass. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay, has everyone received the pet peeve? And he's like, you can rant. You can go. I'm giving you like 2 minutes or whatever to get out your feelings about the pet peeve. And then he said, okay, now you're going to synthesize that, each person, and you're going to tell me what the other person's values are based on the pet peeve.
Are you kidding me?
You're not going to say
you're
he
joking.
hates it when people are late for meetings. You're going to say he values people's time and punctuality and that people have respect for other people's schedules. And it was so fascinating. I know, isn't it funny? So it was so interesting to hear that because he's like, see, guys, this is just like when people talk about having disagreements and you feel like, oh, I can't get along with that person. We have nothing in common. We all have values. And when you look at the things that make them so angry and maybe you're not getting along with them, what's the value that you have violated or that maybe other people have violated, and what's really the root of the problem? It isn't that, hey, you left your gate open and your dog got out and he pooped in my yard. I hate dogs pooping in my yard or whatever. It is you weren't respectful of my property, and now I have to take time to pick up your dog poop. And so it was just very interesting I happened to be in the room for something else, but to hear that conversation, I thought, oh my goodness. I loved it. And I loved hearing how people try to describe what was a value, because then he said, okay, you guys have heard each other's values. Do you have those same values? And most people are like, yeah, I do think you should be respectful of people's time or this and that. So he's like, see, you guys aren't that different. You might have different pet peeves or things that fire you up, but at the core, we all, in general, except for like the lobster lady or the jewelry lady, I don't know what kind of world they live in, but for the most part, common values.
I think that's a wonderful way to end the episode. And also, it just shows how multifaceted we are as humans, because there's just so many layers to all of us. Because then we could talk about, from that wonderful thing that the speaker said, we could go into, say, I actually was talking about, I had therapy this morning, and we were talking about values, kind of, and like why I felt a certain way about something. And the more you take it down, the more you just realize everything lives in perception. And so much of the perception we see and the values and all the things start from when we're kids, and they root there. And it's just incredible to watch, because you'll hear things in the spiritual world be like, we are all the same and also so special. And this is why. Because we are so special, because we have our different ways
the same information and using it.
But at the core, we're all the same. And that's why it's so important to take care of each other and be nice to each other. Now, you can't always be nice to lobster people, right? Or like the joy. But I can be nice to the other 900 people that I come across. And I think that that's what we need to do. It's not about doing it perfect or being a perfect human. It's just about doing the best we can to continually respect each other's values. Right? So, good episode. Sorry you were embarrassed. Or you weren't. I'm glad you weren't embarrassed.
Yep. I'm glad I lived through the poop lady library story, and I saved other parents from having to endure that. But yeah, so maybe we'll have to do a poll. Like, would you have been embarrassed about putting them books back? Also, people can let us know, would you have been embarrassed about the turds? Because I wasn't. I was just like, holy shit.
That's
all right.
Funny.
Till next time, Carrie.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Finch and Sparrow Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed our stories related to our lessons, or just laughed along with us. We sincerely thank you for spending your time with us today. A special thanks to our friend Caitlin Vinci for letting us use her song We Rise. You can check out her full song and other tracks at CaitlinVincimusic.com. Follow along with us on our Instagram at Finch_N_Sparrow. There you can find out what we're up to, see what's inspiring us, and maybe what we're going to do next. See you next time.
Yes, you can be real and true, and it's all you allow.